Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I'm going to try out another supposed food hack. Can vinegar really make eggs taste better? It seems that rarely a day goes by that some sort of food hack article doesn't show up in my Google News feed. And recently, it's been about using wine vinegar to improve either fried eggs or scrambled eggs. Unfortunately, none of these articles had anything resembling a recipe or talked about the quantity you should use. So I had to do a little bit of research, and it turns out that this is not such a new concept. In fact, it was first introduced in a cookbook in 1979 by French chef Roger Verges doing fried eggs. So I'm going to start this video by trying out his method on fried eggs. But before I begin, I want to preemptively shut down anybody that's going to leave a comment about nonstick pans or Teflon saying, "Oh no, they cause cancer." That is not correct. Do a little bit of research. Nonstick pans, such as Teflon, do not start to release PFAs until they reach a temperature of over 500 degrees. And if I'm going to be cooking something at 500 degrees, I'm going to be using cast iron or carbon steel. We're not going to get anywhere near those temperatures. So calm down, back away from the keyboard, and let's make some eggs. I have my nonstick pan on the stovetop and my heat set to medium-low. To the pan, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, and I'm going to let this melt as the pan comes up to temperature. The temperature I generally shoot for is 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 Celsius when I'm doing over easy eggs. You can go higher if you're frying eggs, but I'm just going over easy here with 2 large eggs. Bloop. Bloop. And I'm a little bit off center on the yolks there. I'm going to see if I can't spatulize those a little bit closer to the center. Not really. Not really. I'm going to let these cook until the whites are mostly set, just a little runny around the yolk, and then give them a flip. I'm going to let them go on the second side for about a minute just to finish those whites and put a little bit of a skin over the top of the yolk. Meanwhile, I have a plate that I kept warm on top of the oven where I was cooking bacon. I want to make sure that the eggs don't get cold while I finish the sauce. Flip these back over to the somewhat sunny side. And then I'm going to return it back to the top of my oven where it'll stay nice and warm. Then I have my red wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon, which I will add to my melted butter. And as I stir it around, those milk solids left over from the butter will start to break up. I want to reduce this by about 50%. You can see what it looks like before in terms of both quantity and color, and then once it's reduced. Nice kind of almost caramel color to it. I'll drizzle this over the top of my eggs. And then we'll have a taste test.
Look at that egg. Wow. Pretty perfect. A little bit of vinegar you can taste with that butter on there. And very good. Thank you.
The tang from the vinegar really is a great counterpoint to the creaminess of the yolk. But I got one more idea here. Got some fresh ground Parmesan that I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on. And a little fresh cracked pepper.
Adds a lot more, little umami punch.
All right, that there is, do I have yolk on my chin?
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
That there is, it brings all the different flavors. You got rich and creamy and a little bit acidic, you know, that little bit of tang. You got the Parmesan bringing that umami. I still feel like I've got yolk on my chin, but this is one heck of a way to do over easy or fried eggs. For the next part of the video, we're going to try out scrambled eggs. Supposedly, adding wine vinegar, and we're going to use white wine vinegar this time, but adding them to scrambled eggs before you start to cook them causes them to get fluffier and more tender. Now, in terms of the quantity to use, I've seen numbers all over the place on that. In my experiments, it seems that a teaspoon will cover you anywhere from about 2 eggs to 4 eggs, depending on how much of that sort of kick you want. We're going to go with 1 teaspoon, though, per 2 eggs. I have 2 Pyrex containers here, each with 2 beaten eggs in them. And to one, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar. And we'll give this a couple plunge whisks as well. For my scrambled eggs, I like the temperature of my skillets to be 290 to 300 Fahrenheit. I like cooking them kind of gently. And both are at that temperature, so we're going to add our eggs. First, the non-vinegar version, and to this one, the vinegar version. And I'm really kind of gentle when I scramble my eggs. I like them nice and delicate. But I can see the texture here on the vinegar eggs is a little bit different. It's cooking a little bit more slowly, and I'm not getting the same sort of folds that I'm getting from the non-vinegar eggs. I'm going to take these off the heat since they're done already while I finish the vinegar eggs. I like to plate my eggs while they're still just a little bit shiny and then let the residual heat kind of finish them off. Looking good. Time for a taste test. So here are just the plain scrambled eggs. And you can see that the texture on it, you get sort of those folds. Here are the scrambled eggs with the white wine vinegar, and the textures, it's different. I don't know if it's going to be better or not. It seems almost a little fluffier. But my wife now will try out
Try this
first the plain ones. Mm-hmm. You're going to bum out because there's no salt or pepper on them yet.
Very good eggs. Yeah, they're like fluffier looks so far. Definitely taste the vinegar, and I like it. I like vinegar, and these are fluffier. Yeah, these are flat but fluff. Yeah, they 2 different flavors and textures. Something else to tell you.
It's good. It's firm. I just really like the texture of low temperature scrambled eggs. They're just sort of a little bit softer. But now we're going to try out the vinegar ones. There really is a very nice flavor to it. It's just, that tiny little bit of tang to it. The texture is like nothing I've ever had before in scrambled eggs. It's, I'm going to try another bite and see how I would describe that. In a way, it almost reminds me a little bit of cottage cheese. It's like you've got these really tiny little egg curds that are just holding together in all of it. It's different. And again, I think this would benefit also from a little sprinkle of Parmesan, some pepper, and of course my wife is going to want to put some salt on it. But this is an interesting variation on scrambled eggs. Encouraged by the results of that first scrambled egg test, combined with my desire to repurpose ingredients, I have in my fridge some leftover brine from my pickled jalapeños, which I'll link to up here and in the end card. I'd like to see how those affect eggs if we use a teaspoon of that instead of a teaspoon of white wine vinegar. For the jalapeno brine eggs, I've got my jalapeno brine here, and I'm going to again add 1 teaspoon to 2 large eggs. Give it a little whisk, and add it to my preheated nonstick pan. Now the curds on this are somewhere in between the non-vinegar batch and the vinegar batch. Kind of a hybrid. But I'm going to plate them up and we'll see how they taste. All right, no salt, no pepper, nothing but the jalapeno juice. It's good. The texture really is somewhere between those first two, because this wasn't 100% vinegar, the brine. So they're a little lighter than the plain scrambled eggs, but not quite as fluffy as the white wine vinegar eggs. And I really like the taste. Let's see what my wife thinks.
Yeah, these are like my favorite because of the texture just in between. And then there's just a kick of jalapeno, and it's good. A little salt and pepper would be awesome.
Maybe a little cheese?
Cheese is good always, yeah. Can't go wrong in cheese.
I'm not going to create any sort of a recipe card out on my website for this because it's pretty straightforward. If you're doing fried or over easy eggs, you want 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar per 2 eggs. If you're doing scrambled eggs, my recommendation is 1 teaspoon per 2 eggs to 4 eggs. You'll have to try it out and see what you like. Additionally, as we did in this video, some fresh grated Parmesan and some fresh ground black pepper really take these eggs to a whole nother place. I highly recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And if you'd like to get in on some extra perks related to this channel, like advanced views of my videos, click that join button and see what channel memberships are all about. And like I said before, I'll put my candied jalapenos video up there, and I'll throw another egg video right underneath. Thanks for watching.